Hey guys, Scott here. Welcome to Koala Teatime. Hope you're staying well and staying indoors and washing your hands and yeah, just taking it easy at the moment. Strange times, man. Strange times. We had a kebab delivered the other day. A kebab delivered to this house the other night. It's very strange times indeed. Very strange times. Never thought I'd ever have a kebab delivered, but who knows? All sorts of weird stuff's happening at the moment, man. Oh, so long as I still have tea, right? Cool. How you been keeping? I hope you're well. Tell me how you're doing in the comments below. I want to make sure everyone's okay. Um, and that's important to me, knowing that everyone's okay. Because I worry. I'm a worrier. I worry about everyone, especially in times like this. It's just like Um, so down, pillow, down. Down. So yeah, so I'm filming here in the living room today because uh, I finally got my computer working. My computer, which is the heart of the studio. Everything passes through it. I finally got it working. My friend Tom, back in January when my laptop broke, uh, it was one of these things where it was like, I don't believe in coincidences, but it was very coincidental. So my laptop broke suddenly in January. And then I thought, I'll get in contact with my friend Tom because we haven't talked in a little while. And I know he'd be up for helping me build a computer to replace this one. And literally that evening, he messaged me first. And we were talking like once in a blue moon at this point. We've been talking a lot more since then. But I was just like, whoa, okay. And he was like, oh, how's things going? And I was like, oh, yeah, things are all right. My laptop just broke, though. And he was, before I even suggested, oh, can you build me one? He was like, hey, I'll build one for you. So I was like, oh, wow, okay. Awesome. And so began what's been about a 2-month journey, essentially. So I went up to New Malden to see Tom, and he had us go on this website. I think it's called PCPartPicker.com. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. And he virtually put the computer together. He put all these different parts, and he was like, "Oh, we need a bit of that, a bit of that, a bit of that," and put it together. And then the website was like, "Yep, beep, yep, this will work." And so we were just like, cool. So then he sent me a link to that, and I bought all the parts, and then one by one the parts arrived throughout February, and then about maybe a month or 3 weeks ago or so, before this Corona stuff happened, Tom came to Shepperton. I was about to say Winchester, but I'm not there anymore. So Tom came to Sheeptown, and first of my friends to come see the studio as well. And I've been sharing a lot of videos here on YouTube, and I consider you guys friends. But it's the first friend in the flesh to see the studio, outside of my family, of course. And he was really loving it, and yeah, he got to work putting the computer together, and I was sort of like putting MLV up around the door and just doing little bits and pieces while he did the computer. He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm plugging the solid state into the Tomahawk," and I was just like, "Tom, I have no idea what you're saying right now. If it works, I'm happy." You're talking to the guy who got a G in IT and then somehow had a job in IT for 11 months. Don't know how that works. But anyway, and so he put it all together, and he was like, great, all I need to do is get an operating system now to put on it. So I'll come back next week and we'll do that. And so I was like, great. And so a week goes by, Tom comes back, and he's got an operating system on a little USB, and he goes, right, all we need to do is plug this in, and it should work. And by this point, I've bought a mouse and a keyboard to go with it. And I've got one of those keyboards that like clicks. You remember those? Like a little clicky keyboard. Like, I feel like I'm back at school using one of these things. It's really cool. So I'm very happy. It's very sensory, I guess. And so we plug in the USB with the operating system on, and we turn my screen on, and we're like, okay, what's gonna happen? Nothing happened. And we were like, this is strange. And then Tom goes, wait a second. And he picks up one of the boxes that the one of the computer parts used to be in. And he goes, And I go, what? And he turns it around, and the sticker reads, requires graphics card. And I was like, we don't have a graphics card, do we? And he goes, no. And so I was like, so we sort of hung out the rest of the day and chilled out, and I ordered a graphics card. And so the graphics card arrived a few days later, and Tom was gonna come back to install the graphics card. Unfortunately, we've gone into lockdown because of coronavirus, so he can't come round. And he said to me, it should be easy enough to install. But easy for you, Tom, not easy for me. And so I'm looking at the computer, and I have this graphics card, and I'm looking at the slot it needs to go into, and I'm like a caveman going, why is it not going in? Come on. And just for ages going round and round in circles trying to fit this thing in. I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm trying to figure out, how it goes in. And every YouTube video for this graphics card that was like labelled with the same name on it somehow looked like a completely different graphics card. I was like, does each one look different? Or are they all, using the wrong graphics card, or has someone sold me the graphics card case but with a completely different graphics card that doesn't fit? And I was putting it in, I was like, it's not gonna fit, it's all falling apart. And I was getting really frustrated. And so I kept flipping around this part and looking at it, and eventually I realised the instructions weren't showing me something. There was basically this little cover for one of the the microchip strip thing. I don't know what you call it. Basically the bit that plugs into the computer. That bit. So that bit was covered by this little black covering thing, and so that's why it wasn't fitting in. And as soon as I pulled that off, it just went bing straight in. I was like, "Way!" Okay, so now my now the graphics card plugs in. I'm like, right, all I need to do now is switch it on, put the OS in, and it's all gonna be gravy, right? Right? No, that would be too easy for me. Okay, so I finally get it on, and it starts spewing all this IT computer jargon at me, going, you need to reboot the BIOS, and I'm like, who is the BIOS, and why does it need rebooting? I don't know what it means. And so I'm texting Tom, and I'm going, what is the BIOS? And he's like, oh, it's this and this and that, and I'm just like, I still don't know what it means. And he said, you should just be able to plug in the USB and the whole thing will work. I was like, no, I need the BIOS. How do I get to the BIOS? And so I'm going round and round in circles trying to figure out this BIOS situation. And I've start, pressing keys on the keyboard, hopefully. Oh, if I just press the right button, it'll all be fine, right? That's my logic. And eventually I press the right button at the right time, and a big screen appears in big bold letters is the word BIOS. And I'm like, BIOS, I have found you. And I looked on my phone, I was like, how do I solve this, BIOS thing? And it said, you need to basically, when you boot up your computer, you need to make sure that that it's going to boot up from a USB drive and not a disk or a hard drive. You need to use the USB, and so you have to drag the USB along a line and put it at number 1. So when it opens up, it will access the USB. So it's like, okay, right, okay. There's a reason why they have experts who do these things, and not men who wear koala hats and write silly songs about burritos. I don't know who they would be. Anyway, so I'm like, right, I've conquered it. I've beaten BIOS at its own game. Let's plug the USB back in and let's get this thing sorted. and I plug it back in, and now it's going, we must reboot again. We must reboot again. I'm like, reboot? I've turned this computer off like 20 times at this point. What do you need to reboot? And I'm just going out of my mind. I'm going back and forth between the studio. I'm like coming in, watching an episode of Star Wars, The Clone Wars on Disney Plus, which is now in the UK. Ka-ching. I'm watching that, de-stressing a bit, trying not to worry about coronavirus, and then running back to my shed and trying to defeat my computer in this battle of technological wits. And I keep doing it and trying different things and moving different things around, and it's still just, it's saying your driver is missing, and I'm just like, I'm a pretty good driver, like I'd work, but no, it's all just falling apart, and I'm getting frustrated. And to me, I'm like, I'm at home, I've got work things to do, work has sent me a list of things to do, I'm working through that, but there's only so many episodes of Star Wars The Clone Wars to watch. There's only so many times I can watch the entire MCU slate of films before I go a little bit nuts. So I need this computer to work, because I feel like I'm accomplishing something and feel like this quarantine isn't for nothing. Anyway, so I decide to try a different tactic out. I think, okay, maybe the problem isn't the computer, maybe it's the USB. So Tom gave me this USB, which apparently has got Windows 10 in it, and you plug it in and it installs. And he said, I just downloaded it from some website. So I thought, what if there's something wrong with the USB? So I plugged it into a computer, I deleted all the stuff that Tom put on there, and I re-downloaded Windows 10 onto it. Now, when I did it this time, before there were like 4 little folders there, and now suddenly there's like 5 or 6. I'm like, whoa, okay, I don't know what happened when Tom downloaded it, but now there's more stuff. I hope that's a good thing. And so I plug it into the computer, and finally, it's done. It's done. Finally, the computer, it switches on, and it's like, yes, I win. I finally win. I defeated BIOS. I defeated the USB. I defeated Microsoft. Ha ha ha, Bill Gates. I'm going slightly mad in my isolation. Hello. So I got the computer working, and then I was like, right, now I need internet. I need the internet, right? So, what I did, hold on a sec. I've got it over here. Here we go. So it's called a power line adapter. And essentially, what it does is it sends the internet through your electricity line, which is pretty nifty, isn't it? I didn't know you could do that. And so my brother's friend recommended that to me about a month ago. So I bought one of those, and we tested it out in the house, and it worked. And I thought, well, the electricity's running from the house out to the shed, so hopefully that should work right. Well, no, it didn't. Thankfully, it wasn't for nothing, because we're using the power line adapter in the house now, so we're not having to run Ethernet cables everywhere. Ethernet cables, that's something I know. But yeah, so there's no internet at the shed currently, and I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because it's got its own like little fuse box out there, and that's why it's not properly travelling. Because according to the box, it can travel up to like 300 meters, and like the shed isn't that far away from the house, so it should work. It should work, but it didn't work, unfortunately. Yeah, what a shame. So because of that, I've had to drag the computer into the house so I can download Cubase and Photoshop, and Adobe Premiere and like Microsoft Word and things like that you need the internet for. I've done that, and so yeah. Then once that's all downloaded, I can take it in the shed and I can start recording album number 4, because what else am I going to do with my time? Yeah, it's all sort of come together at the right time, really. I mean, like, being quarantined and everything that's going on in the world, people dying, people really ill. It's not a good thing. I don't want it to be happening. Like it's not cool. I've got family members who are having to isolate because they're ill and everything, and there's a lot of worry and panic. And being a Christian, like I pray about it. I think about it a lot, and I try to put it out of my head because there's nothing I can do to control it. You know. With all that said, having a lot of time here at the house means that because I get sick of just sitting around all the time, I have to do something. It means that I'm getting lots of stuff done in the shed. And because of that, we've nearly got all the mass loaded final put up. If you haven't seen any mass loaded final videos, there's like 3 or 4 of them, and it's me putting up this soundproofing material called MLV, mass loaded final, on the walls. And it's very heavy and very awkward to use. And when we first got the rolls of final, like, this stuff was just so heavy. It was a struggle for me and my brother to lift it up. Now I can lift up one of the rolls by myself. I've clearly developed some guns. 2 tickets to the gun show. I love Anchorman. That's what I should watch later. So we've been putting up the mass loaded final, and now it doesn't feel as heavy because we've been doing so much of it and probably building up a little bit of muscle. But we're nearly done with it, and so it's like, oh wow, okay, what do we do next? And so I think the next step for the recording studio is that we're going to do some more sound tests, because the mass loaded final is supposed to reduce sound by about 27 decibels. Right, and so we've covered the whole thing in it, apart from the beams, and so we're gonna do some sound tests. So I'm gonna rock my electric guitar out and my drum kit and blast out and do some fun videos for that. That's gonna be really cool, and see what the soundproofing level is at, essentially. And see where we're at that point, because yeah, we're at a cool point. We're at a point where I might be able to start actually properly recording music in there, and hopefully the MLV is gonna have given the studio enough soundproofing that it's like, okay, we can make a bit of noise and it's not too loud outside, so let's go for it. So I'm really hoping we're at that stage, because there's like no money left in the fund to do any more stuff, essentially, I do, however, have 2 whole rolls of mass loaded final left, so if anyone's interested in those, I'll be selling them much cheaper than you can find elsewhere. So ching. Not that anyone can leave the house at the moment to go get anything, nor that anyone would want to spend money on soundproofing materials when you need to save your money for food, right? Mental times we're living in. But yeah, with the soundproofing coming to an end, now it's sound testing, and once that's done, it's like decorating and putting up acoustic foam. And so Amazon's still delivering stuff, so hopefully they're going to be be able to deliver me some more materials to decorate the place, because the mass loaded final, even though I'm glad it's there, it's not aesthetically pleasing, so I need to cover that up. It's funny things have been happening recently. So I'll talk about this, and then maybe we'll call it a day. Okay, so last year, when I started doing YouTube and taking it seriously last year and uploading twice a week, I now do 3 times a week. When I started doing it twice a week, and finding people online that actually wanted to watch my stuff and were entertained by it, I guess. When I started finding people who liked the stuff, I also found people who were interested in offering me stuff to review on my channel. And so I was contacted by a company called Teatime, And I'm sure there's a number of YouTubers, music YouTubers watching this right now who've been contacted by this company. Because I've seen some of my friends here review their stuff as well. And so, fine, they sent me a wireless microphone to review, and I got to keep it, and it was free. I was like, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. And I was like, I wonder where this will lead to. I wonder if it could end up like Marshall sending me a new amp, or like, Takamine sending me a new acoustic guitar to review, because that would be awesome. Takamine, please send me an acoustic guitar to review. Anyway, so I've been waiting for a while to see if anyone would offer me anything else to review, and I'm like crossing my fingers. I'm like, please let it be a guitar. Please let it be a guitar. And then I get an email, and it's not what I expected. So I get emailed by someone that does beauty products for women. Pretty much. I mean, I guess a guy could use them, but it seems like they're more targeted to women. And so they're like, we have a couple of products we'd like you to review for us. One of them is a hot wax machine. So it's like a wax warmer. So I don't know anything about waxing your legs. Clearly, I'm very, very hairy. Can't believe I said that. Anyway, so they're like, yes, we have a wax warmer. So you put these warm waxy beads in, and it warms them up and turns it into the hot wax, and then you put it on your legs. And I thought, oh, then you strip it off, right? And they're like, no, this is like a new wax where it peels off later. And I thought, oh man, that would have been a very funny video for the channel where I like had to wax my legs to review some product, like. But no, so it's a peel-off one, and I was like, okay. And the other one is like a nail dryer. So like when you put when you paint your nails, and you there's apparently a machine that you put it in, and it dries it for you. That's so ooh la la. I thought the air's supposed to do it for you, but you've got a fancy little machine. It seems so just superfluous, this machine. Anyway, but I thought, screw it. I'll take both. So, I have not received the nail machine yet. The wax machine is just off in the corner out of frame. So I'm very excited to review the wax machine and the nail machine, which is I'm yet to order it. I had to order them one by one. So the nail machine, that's next on the list. So hopefully, if that arrives soon, I'll test both of these things out. It kind of feels like that movie, What Women Want, with Mel Gibson from, I think, did that come out in 2000 or 2001? Either way, it came out around 20 years ago, and I've watched that film more than you should, really. I don't know why. Back in I don't know, in that time period on TV, on like the like cable channel we'd like NTL at the time. Do you remember NTL? Anyway, we had that, and it just, on the movie channels, they just played the same movies every night. So I've seen American Pie, Boat Trip, and What Women Want more times than anyone should ever watch those three movies. And so there's the scene in What Women Want where Mel Gibson's like working for a company who are looking to like market some beauty products, so he decides to like try them out on himself. So he like paints his nails and like puts the pantyhose on, and then goes to use the hairdryer, and then he falls in the bath, and then he comes out of the bath and he can hear what women are thinking, which is both a blessing and a curse for Mel Gibson's character. So it kind of feels like that. So hopefully I don't fall into a bath with an electrical item during this. I don't know if I want the ability to hear what women are thinking. I mean, I guess it would come in handy, at points. But then also, if you can't control it, like you can't shut it off, like life would be a lot louder, wouldn't it? There'd be no peace. You could always hear people all the time. You'd have to live in isolation like this all the time, just away from everyone else because she's just like, voices, I hear voices. Anyway, I'm going off the rails and I've nearly finished my tea. So, look at that. It's done. Anyway, so look forward to a review of a nail dryer and a wax warmer from me, because that's what you want from a music channel. It's review of female beauty products. But I thought, what the hell? Why not? It's so random that they've asked me to do that. I'm gonna go for it. So stay safe, stay indoors, protect the NHS if you're in UK. And yeah, just take care of each other. Stay in contact. Comment down below. Tell me how you're doing. I've been Scott. Look forward to that funny review. And peace. Stay awesome. Bye bye.